You're watching Gamescom Studio on IGN. Replaced is a gorgeous 2.5D action platformer that I've been excited about for years, and hopefully I don't have to wait too long to play it. Here to tell me all about Replaced is Igor Gritsay. Hey, what's up, man?
Thanks for having me, and hopefully we can have a meaningful interview right now.
Yes, I'm excited. So, Replaced is like just a stunning looking video game. The 2.5D pixel art, there's all this great lighting and moody atmosphere and effects and stuff like that. How did you all settle on this art style? Because it's honestly, it's one of the most sort of striking looking games I've ever seen.
Well, initially when we started like our first tries to do this, it was like 2018, I think, and we thought to ourselves what we can do with our limited capabilities. We cannot do AAA and stuff, so let's try to do like a cinematic platformer. It should be good. It should be easier. Spoiler alert, it was not. It was you don't see like many of those games like Inside, maybe a Little Nightmares and stuff like this, but those are far in between. And this is for a reason, because even if the game is fully 3D, it's really difficult to compose everything in a cinematic way. But we shot ourselves in the leg with doing all the pixel art, because to do proper camera work, to do justice, so that you don't break the illusion of sprites being 2D. It's a lot of work. Yura, who is our game director, he does lots of cinematography. He is a total movie freak. So basically, he is obnoxious regarding all of this stuff. He can spend hours setting up the proper camera angle, all the shadows, all the lighting.
Yeah.
He also conceptualized all the game, all the characters and stuff. So he's our art director, he's game director. So yeah, I would say that we did it on a Dark Souls mode here, because we've incorporated 2D and it's even harder. So
I mean, it's one of those games where it's screenshots don't do it justice, right? Screenshots are beautiful, but once
I hate when I see it on YouTube, because YouTube compression, it hates pixel art, and usually it just smashes everything. And whenever I look, last year on IGN, we also had a gameplay, how to say it, showcase.
Yeah.
And basically, I looked at, half of the art is smeared because of YouTube compression.
Right.
And I'm whenever you see it live, it looks so much better, and yeah.
I just love how sort of detailed and lived in the world looks. I mean, if you had just been oh, we're going to make sort of something that's evocative of a 16-bit Super Nintendo platformer, right? Or an old Genesis game or something.
Yeah.
You could have just stopped with a couple of planes of scrolling, but you have dynamic camera work coming in. You've got all these details, all this scratched up sort of used future effect. So I want to talk a little bit about the setting. This is taking place in an alternate 1980s America, right?
Basically, what in our world, everything revolves around biotransplantation and bioengineering. Everything went horribly wrong in America in the 40s, where basically instead of bombing Japan, America bombed itself.
Oh wow!
And this gave a huge push towards transplantation and healthcare and stuff. But in all cyberpunk stories, everything goes
everything
to
crap
really fast. So initially donorship was very honorable and very it gave you great rewards money and stuff. But later down the line it became more and more dystopian, and eventually there appeared a whole category of people called disposals. Basically, corporation took their organs, removed it from them, and just disposed of them and throw them outside of the city. We have main location, which is Phoenix City. It's surrounded by a wall. Inside of Phoenix City, upper class citizens live, but whenever corporation get to you, they take your organ and they dispose of you. So basically, you play as Rich, who is an AI trapped in the body of his creator, and basically Rich is he is the root of the problem. He is an AI whose main goal is to find best donors and best recipients. So you kind of started as a very questionable entity, but whole game is about AI realizing what it's like to be a human.
Right.
So initially it's oh my god, I'm inside of a body, I'm mortal right now, so I want to get back to my digital self. But it's quite a challenge, because corporation doesn't give a damn who you are. They just wanted to put it under the rug and dispose of you. So this is where all the story happens, and overall, it's we try to answer a question what it's like to be human. So
That is awesome. Like I did not expect that much. Like that is some great, excellent world building there. Like you guys really got in with the details.
yeah, we also like our narrative team also does a lot of job in like providing all like the additional stuff that not all players will find, but if somebody like is willing to explore the game, they can like look for like lore items. They can like listen to all those flavor monologues of characters and to learn more about the world, because like to our world it's more than just the US. There are like other stuff happening in the world, but basically we are like this US centric, and being like we come from Eastern Europe, so our perception of America is more like from movies, from the VHS tapes from the 80s and 90s. So we had to do a lot of like research work to do it justice, and well, I hope we managed. And yeah, if players want to learn more, they can learn more. Of course, we don't push it down their throats.
Yeah, but it's there if they want it.
Yeah.
That's again excellent world building. You mentioned some of the sort of vague details about some of the influences. I want to pull on that a little bit because, like, I think we grew up watching a lot of the same stuff, and a lot of it is sort of dystopian sci-fi action movies and stuff like that. What were some of the sort of like books and movies, video games, whatever that made it into this sort of like the influence pile?
When it started, like in 2018. I think it was 1 year since the release of Blade Runner 2049.
Yeah.
So it was an amazing movie. We are big fans of this as well as the original movie.
Yeah.
Also, there was like a much lesser known movie by, I think it's Australian company called Upgrade. It's about like also about an AI trapped inside a human body.
Yeah, I've seen Upgrade. I love it.
Yeah, and also it's an inspiration for our combat system because of how our character moves in a sort of like unnatural way to a human, because he can pass human body's limits, and that's why basically he's like that. In terms of games, our holy Bible I think is Inside from Playdead, because it's like a top-notch cinematic platformer. Even though their story is not so like spoken, it's more like a minimalistic. But it's like a textbook for how you should build it. But as well, like as we learned ourselves, it's very, very difficult and very expensive to make this kind of game. And of course, like visual style, there is an elephant in the room. This is like we were heavily inspired by The Last Night.
Yeah.
They have like a gorgeous art style. It heavily inspired us, and we thought that this is a really great look. This is a really great take on this retro stuff. So we tried to do it our own, and during the game development, I think we've reimagined our art style several times. It's less noticeable for people from the outside, but basically there were a lot of problems that we had to resolve. But I think most likely for us, it's those cinematic platformers, as well as like the legacy platformers, like in a Flashback or Another World.
Yeah,
but unfortunately those wouldn't work today because of their nature, and players today, they expect a bit of different styles.
A little bit quicker, yeah.
Yeah, so we try to incorporate stuff like combat system, which was heavily inspired by Batman Arkham series. We try to incorporate it in 2D. I
like that a lot. So I was going to ask you about the combat, because I can see the sort of like the magnetism that the protagonist has towards the enemies and snapping from thing to thing. You've got this Blade Runner style pistol, right?
Yeah.
And it looks like it's got a meter that charges up.
It's basically both a pistol and a police baton. So it has like a kinetic energy like generator inside. So whenever you beat the crap out of enemies, you also charge the gun. But you cannot overuse it, so you have to shoot once a while. And this was also one of the main plot devices for the story, like the gun. And the thing that actually Reach can possess this gun because it has a biosensor which is locked to, and only police officers and Phoenix Corporation can use it. So this is a major plot device, but those are spoilers, so this is one at a time.
It's cool. I really appreciate, you mentioned earlier some of the camera work. You get to see it a lot during the combat, right? It's there was a scene in one of the clips I watched from you guys where the protagonist gets hit, the camera spins completely upside down. It's just like that sort of dynamic stuff that you wouldn't necessarily expect from like a classic 16-bit platformer that you guys get to experiment with here.
Yes, and basically this is one of our main like selling points, but as well this is our curse because we have no, but don't quote me on that, camera cuts in the game. So basically everything has to be seamless. So
right.
the transition from gameplay to like, you know, cutscene and stuff. So basically this is where a lot of things can break immersion. So it takes a lot of effort to do the proper camera work, do the proper like setup for this, and it's a lot of trial and error. And because like it's not like a traditional movie, but it's not like a very traditional video game itself. So we have nobody to ask. Right. About that, so we have to experiment with that, and sometimes we can like borrow stuff from other great minds in the industry, but there is a lot of experimentation involved.
You guys have been working on this game for a long time. There was obviously some skepticism when hey, you know, we're so used to now, like modern gamers, we're like a game gets announced and we wait years and years and years to find out more. What were like, I guess, some of the challenges that you faced getting to where you are in development now?
Well, initially I would say that during first several years of development it was mostly like a prototyping and exploring the opportunity. I think serious development started somewhere like in 2020. And after that, there were a lot of challenges, like you name it. That we have to understand what it's like to run our own company. This is like our first personal project. And then we have to understand like what it takes to create a game in terms of like combining all those systems together, finding financing for this, for all of this, and also like. An elephant in the room is like the war in our region. Yeah. We are not from Ukraine ourselves. We have like one team member who is in Ukraine. Right now he's drafted in Ukrainian armed forces, unfortunately. So we do not claim to be like the victims here, but at the same time our region is very unstable. So that's why we have to relocate most of our team. Yeah, it halted our development on a big scale, and we still had to continue the development because like money is running out, so we have to be mindful. This is a business. Yeah. Even though this is an art, we still have to be mindful that we have to pay people for them to provide to their families. So yeah.
Well, I'm really happy where the game is right now. It looks really gorgeous. You guys are very clearly putting in a lot of work on it. So congratulations, and I can't wait to play it. Thank you so much for coming by.
Thanks for having me.
That is Replaced. It looks awesome. Hopefully we'll all get to play it soon, but until then we've got plenty more Gamescom on IGN coming up very soon, so stick around.